Welcome to Crime Stoppers. I'm your host, Chip Brown. The Polk County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Division enforces the county's animal control ordinances and the state's dangerous dog statute, both inside and outside all city limits here in Polk County. Joining us in the studio is Kristall Barber, who serves as the administrator over the Polk County Sheriff's Office Animal Control Division. Kristall, thank you for coming to the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, you came through Polk County by way of Tulsa and Ohio to Polk County. Tell us about that journey.
Yes, sir. I was born in Oklahoma, raised in Ohio for 25 years, and then I'm a mama's girl. So my mama moved to Florida. I followed her, and I've been in Florida now for 11 years, and I've been at the sheriff's office my entire 11 years that I've been down here.
Now, did you aspire to be an animal control officer, or what were your goals?
Well, when I first moved down, I was a veterinary technician in Ohio for about 10 years before I moved, and I knew I loved animals, knew I wanted to do something career-wise with animals, and so I found the sheriff's office had an opening in animal control, and so I applied and got the job. Met my husband in animal control, and he went on to be a deputy. I went on to stay at animal control. We have 2 kids together, one boy, one girl. So I guess for me it worked out very well.
Yeah. Now, you literally worked yourself up to the top position in animal control. You started at a very basic entry position and just did the time and did the work.
That's right. I started out as a kennel officer and did that for a year or so, moved to the road as a regular road officer, drove around in the truck, did night shift for 4 or 5 years. I loved night shift. And then I became a cruelty investigator. And while I was in cruelty, I also helped out the bite department, and then I eventually went on to be a dangerous dog investigator. And then I went on to be the animal control supervisor of the office, and then I moved into the administrative position. So.
Well, that's quite a journey. Did you envision that when you started as a kennel officer?
No, not at all. I didn't know that I would be there for my career, but once I started, I really liked the job. I love the people. I love the animals. Obviously, you have to love animals to work at animal control, and it's just something that I have 20 more years at the sheriff's office, so I hope I will be there 20 more years.
Well, I'm sure that you will. Now, people seem to have a preconceived notion about what animal services does. Tell us what we don't know about animal services.
Well, the first basic reason that animal services exists is for rabies control and prevention. That's really why we're there. We do bite investigations, we do rabies investigations. Those can lead into dangerous dog investigations. And then obviously, we intake stray animals, owner surrender animals. And then the other side is which we're really excited about, our adoptions. We love the fact that we do adoptions. We return many animals to their owners when they're lost and they come find them. And then we partner with many agencies to help them with cruelty investigations. Animals are evidence in those cases, and we hold on to that evidence until the case is closed or until we get ownership of the animal, whichever comes first. And partnering with, of course, being with the sheriff's office, we have an ag department, and they house their large animals out at animal control. So we have everything from horses. We've had an emu before. I think currently we have a goat. We have pigs. We get slimy, slippery things like snakes, rabbits, guinea pigs. And if it breathes and is an animal, we pretty much have had it at one point in time.
Now, you had mentioned one of the primary goals is rabies control, and I'd like to talk, if we could, for just a minute about that. I know Polk County had its first reported case, I believe, a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
What should people look for in an animal, and what should they do or what should they not do if they suspect rabies?
Well, we do deal with wildlife if they're sick or injured. So obviously, if you have a raccoon or other type of animal that is in your yard acting suspicious or sick or down, then call us.
Maybe something because he's not really afraid of humans, being more aggressive instead of running away, he's trying to attack.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's any concern, you can give us a call. We will absolutely go out there and try to assess if the animal is indeed, an issue, or if it's just maybe he got stuck out in daylight and it's just, confused. But certainly, give us a call. We can come out and check out the animal, and then go from there. But rabies, obviously, having your dogs inoculated against the rabies, for rabies is really important. It's also a state law, and then making sure that you keep up to date with that rabies vaccination. Most people think that once they have their dogs or cats vaccinated once, that's it. But it's a yearly vaccination. There is a 3-year vaccine, but again, it only lasts for 3 years if you have a 3 years. So making sure that your animals are current is really, really important, especially in Florida, because we have had, a rabies case. So
Now, vaccinations for your animals are certainly very important, and the animals that you adopt out, you take care of that for the new owner, do you not?
yes, correct. Everybody that we adopt out is obviously spayed, neutered, rabies vaccinated, microchipped, licensed. The rabies vaccination itself is not a service that we offer to the public unless you've lost your pet and we've impounded it, and then it's required to have a rabies shot before it goes home so that it's legal when it leaves. But those services can be provided by the SPCA, the Humane Society, TLC Pet Snip, or any local veterinarian that you work with.
Yeah, the vaccinations are so important not only for the animals, but for you and your family as well.
Yes, absolutely. Rabies is something that can be transmitted to people, and people do die every year from it. So it's really important to make sure your vaccines are current and up to date on all your pets, indoor or out, because you just never know when an animal will accidentally get loose and get involved in a fight with a bat or a raccoon or a fox. We have coyotes in this county, bobcats. Every once in a while you'll see a Florida panther, so it's just really important. Those are all high risk, high level, vectors for rabies. So,
And I've always heard the stories about the rabies shots. If you suspect having rabies, a series of shots that the person has to go through. It's numerous shots and kind of a little painful, I understand.
yes, I've been pre-vaccinated, so like for someone like me, we would probably just get a booster if we were exposed to the virus. But someone who's never had any, usually if it's a facial bite, then you get the shots where you were bit, so in the face, and it is a large amount. So of course it goes by body size, so the bigger you are, the more shots you get. After that, I think they do them in your arm. No longer the belly. Most people have that here, the belly. But if you were bit from your face down, then usually they can just do it in the arm. But it's a large amount of shots.
Just another reason to keep your animals vaccinated and stay away from rabid animals themselves.
Yes, nobody wants to be vaccinated.
No, indeed not. Now, we had talked also about some of the partnerships, and especially with your partnership on adoptions.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about who you partner with on those.
Well, we have 114 rescue groups in several counties, not just Polk County, that come and pull animals every day from us.
It's 114 different agencies.
Yes, different rescue groups, agencies. Some of them are other humane societies, Sarasota Humane Society, Gulf Coast Humane Society, just to name a few, come and will pull animals from us. Also, our own SPCA and Humane Society and TLC Pet Snip will pull animals from us to adopt out on some of their events. And then we do our own adoption events at Pet Supermarket regularly. We're there in Bartow and the one in Winter Haven at least once a quarter. And they actually have our cats as often as we can get them there to adopt out. I think the first month we adopted out somewhere around 38, and this next month it was even higher than that. It was in the 40s. So we're super excited about having them at Pet Supermarket.
How many adoptions do you have normally in a year?
Between adoptions, return to owners, and transfers, which is transferring them to another clinic or a rescue or a rehabilitator, we did over 7,000 last year.
7,000.
7,000.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's something people don't realize how many we do get out. It's something that we strive for every day. Our goal is to get more animals out, back to their owner, to a new forever home, every year. I mean, that is our goal, is to get more out. So.
Yeah, so many people tend to think that animal control is the last stop for their animals, when in fact, it's a new beginning for 7,000 of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, we do take everything. So if it's an aggressive animal, a sick or injured animal, someone can't afford vet care, we will absolutely take it in its usually free of charge. So, if you don't have any other alternative, we absolutely are there to help you. But yeah, we get a lot of animals out, and we're super excited. Our adoption aisle is open 6 days a week from 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday. And if we don't have it today, we will have it tomorrow, if what you're looking for.
So if someone is interested in that adoption process, walk our viewers through what would happen on that.
So you come in, we have some areas that you can take the pet out to see if it's going to fit with your family. If you have a pet at home, you can certainly bring it to see if they adjust well together.
Which is very wise, because sometimes different animals don't
That doesn't
like
always
other
happen,
animals.
yes, absolutely. And then if you find the animal you're looking for, we have you fill out a pre-adoption questionnaire. Basically, you have to be current on any other animals in your house as far as the rabies vaccine and the Polk County license. So that's a tag in the shape of Polk County, and you get it from us. So we can make you legal right then and there, so that way you don't have to wait to get your new adopted friend. We will make that all happen all at once. So.
Well, that's quite a service, and my goodness, it just saves so many animals. 7,000 in a year, that's astronomical.
Yes, and hopefully this year it's going to be even more. We every year we're looking for new rescues, so if there's rescue groups that are out there, they can contact us at 577-1762, and they can go ahead and start the process to become a partnered rescue. We're always looking for more rescue groups to partner with, and we're always looking for more places to go and set up either an information workshop or set a desk out with information, or we can do an off-site adoption. So we're always looking for more places to do that at.
Well, just the partnerships, they have evolved over the years, and the stuff that you can do and the things you can't do, but knowing the people that can do it.
Yes.
Just make y'all so successful.
Yes, we try every day. We run, 33,000 calls a year for service. We answer 66,000 calls on the phone a year,
How
so
many?
66,000 phone calls a year.
Oh my goodness.
And 33,000 service calls, which means an officer actually went out and did something. So we are a full-time service, animal services. So.
Yeah. And people just need to be aware there is leash laws, for animals.
Absolutely.
And if your animal is going to bite someone, there's going to be an investigation. So
Yes.
they need to control their animals just like they do anything else.
Yes, there is a leash law. Obviously, it's just that your dog has to be on a leash, and especially if you know it's aggressive or can be aggressive, it's just really important to make sure that you're keeping control of your pet.
Well, Kristall, thank you so much for the information. If you don't mind, maybe we'll run out to the Animal Control Services area and take a look at your facility.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Crime Stoppers provides a way for local law enforcement to receive information on crimes while keeping the people providing that information anonymous. These efforts increase tips, which in turn solve more crimes and identify criminals here in our community. Here's a look at some of our most recent cases.
The Polk County Sheriff's Office Traffic Unit has identified 26-year-old Darrell Lavelle Coleman as the driver in a hit-and-run fatality in Haines City on July 24th, 2017. They're seeking the public's help in locating him. 29-year-old John Lugo has a Polk County warrant for his arrest for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and manslaughter with a weapon stemming from a triple shooting that occurred on July 3rd, 2017, during which Jake Castillo was killed in West Lakeland. The Auburndale Police Department needs your help with a stolen truck. On July 2nd, a truck was stolen from 475 North Dakota Avenue in Lake Alfred, sometime between June 30th and July 1st. The vehicle is a 2001 silver Ford F-350 dually with a Florida tag ENPR08. The truck has chrome wheels, 2 red racks for carrying aluminum for roofs, a specialized front bumper, and Conley faded on the side doors. Lakeland police need your help in identifying this suspect of a burglary that occurred within the city limits of Lakeland. Lakeland police need your help in identifying this suspect of a burglary that occurred within the city limits of Lakeland. The Lake Hamilton Police Department is working on an arson case which occurred Friday, July 14th at approximately 2 a.m., 924 Roberts Road off of Kokomo Road and Highway 27. If anyone observed any suspicious vehicles parked off the side of the road on Kokomo Road between 1:30 and 2:15 a.m., please contact Heartland Crime Stoppers. Just after 10 p.m. on Tuesday, the 4th of July, a burglary occurred at the Emerald Run Apartments on Oakleaf Drive in Lakeland. The Polk County Sheriff's Office is hoping that someone recognizes this individual so they can put him in jail. The two females pictured below entered Macy's, 231 City Center Street on July 17th at 1:30 p.m. They went to the appliance area and each one selected a Vitamix blender valued at $860 each and immediately proceeded to the doors with no attempt to pay. They were seen leaving in a late model Chevy Malibu. The Auburndale Police Department needs your help with this case. From July 7, 2017, an attempted business burglary occurred at 415 Main Street South, the Main Street Diner. The suspect appears to be a young white male and was wearing a short-sleeved shirt, long pants, gloves, and had another shirt covering his head. If you have any information on any of the cases you've just seen or any information on an unsolved crime, please contact Heartland Crime Stoppers and leave an anonymous tip. The toll-free tip line is 1-800-226-TIPS. That's 8477. You can also leave an anonymous web tip by going to www.heartlandcrimestoppers.com and click on the Give a Tip tab, or by going to www.p3tips.com. Don't forget, you can download our free P3 Tips app on your smart device. Whichever way you choose to leave a tip, you will remain 100% anonymous. If your tip results in an arrest, the recovery of stolen property, or the recovery of illegal drugs, you could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $3,000.
Welcome back to the Crime Stoppers Show. We are here at Animal Control with Kristall Barber, who oversees the operations here at Animal Control. This is quite an operation you have here, Kristall.
It's much bigger than most people think it is when they get here.
Yeah. Now, you were talking earlier, how many animals do you have? You said today's count was over what? Almost
It was about 475, 480, somewhere right around there. And that's pretty typical for this time of year. Sometimes we hit over 500. Normally during the off season, which we call our off seasons usually winter, we normally stay somewhere between 300 and 400, so we're a little lower during the winter. But kitten season in Florida never stops, so we got lots of kitties right now.
Yeah. Now, where we actually are right now is in one of the play areas and also the interaction areas. Tell us how this area is used that we're sitting in.
Yeah, so a couple years ago we got the synthetic grass, which we're so excited about. We hope to do all our play areas in the back, and we've done our side area. It makes it nice because it's it's disease friendly. It keeps all the disease away. We can clean up real nice, and it makes it easier for us to accommodate customers when they're wanting to interact with animals. So we have a play yard to the right and the play yard we're sitting in. During the day, if you want to come up and interact with one of the dogs on adoption aisle, or just a stray dog that happens to have you put a hold on it, then we can bring you guys out with the dog and you can interact, throw some balls, play with some toys, get some treats, see if it's going to work for you and your family. And also during the day, in between customers coming, we bring out all of our adoption aisle animals into the play yard so they get some out of cage time.
And that's so important to have that time to get out and and play around during the daytime.
Absolutely, we have volunteers that come as often as they can to help us do that. But we specifically have one kennel officer that's assigned to the adoption aisle pretty much all day from 10 to 4 while it's open to assist customers, make sure that the adoption aisle is staying clean and dry, and just making sure all those animals are cared for.
And like talk about the adoptions, it's so nice to have an area where you can interact with the dog and see how the dog's personality and your personality or your family's personality, how the dog acts, because you can't tell that from just looking at one inside one of the kennels.
Yes, absolutely. They act sometimes a lot different in a kennel than when you bring them out, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it's like, oh, this isn't the right dog, but let me go find a different one. We have lots of dogs to choose from, lots of sizes, shapes, colors, and breeds and genders. So I mean, we have something if you're looking for a new pet.
Now, I know we talked earlier, but how long does a dog stay on the adoption aisle, as you call it?
Once it's spayed and neutered, it is up there until we find it a home. So sometimes, obviously, we don't like to keep them up there for an extended period of time, but sometimes it ends up being, months. And at that point, we'd reduce the price, sometimes even to free to get them homes. And if we can't, or if a problem develops while they're here, then we try to get our rescues to go ahead and take them, and maybe they would be able to find them a foster home or a forever home.
So you really do all that you can to find these
Absolutely.
dogs a home, and cats as well.
Yes, and once we take the time and the effort and put that money into it, we don't want them to go anywhere besides a forever home. So that's our goal, is once they come to adoption and they're spayed and neutered, we find them a home.
And that's so important that you just mentioned all the animals that come through you. Through the clinic that you have here on site, they are spayed and neutered, so
yes.
They are ready to go have their shots, and they are ready to go home.
Yes, everything that's, usually if it's an adult dog that you're adopting, it is good for a year. You don't really have to do anything besides establish a vet. All the shots, vaccines are done. They're microchipped, licensed, rabies vaccinated, heartworm tested, all of that. Now puppies, if it's a puppy or a kitten, it may need a follow-up booster that you'll have to do with your vet, but it's still rabies vaccinated, microchipped, licensed, spayed and neutered, all of that basic stuff is done, which is a lot of the bigger cost when you're getting a pet.
Yeah, and that's so nice that you do it here on site, and it makes it really, really convenient.
Yes.
Now, you had mentioned that you have volunteers that come in to help with the animals. What specifically do your volunteers do? And if someone's interested, they can just call you, I suppose?
Yes, they can call our the main number with the 577-1762, and we will send over, we can mail them a volunteer application. It's 5 or 6 pages, they fill it out, it goes through our volunteer services at the main SOC, and then once they're approved, then they can come in and start volunteering. We have lots of different things. We have office stuff that they can do, so if somebody doesn't necessarily want to be interaction with the animals, that's fine, they can do office duties as well. We always have stuff to do in the office. And then as far as animal interaction, we have walking, we have in the play yards, we have specific things that they can do in our vet room, like pulling syringes, pulling vaccines, so that it doesn't tie up the officers with doing those types of tasks. We have lots of different options for volunteers. We would love people to volunteer.
And that really, not only does it help you, but it helps the people that want to do something for
Yes.
animals, and what a better place to do it than here at Animal Control to help find these animals, like
Yes.
you say, their forever home.
And it helps the animals. The more people they get to interact with one-on-one, it helps them. So some of our volunteers that do the play yards and the walking will actually teach animals to sit and stay and be more calm on a leash, which just in tenfold helps them get adopted, because it's hard when you're first getting a dog, especially if you've never been a dog owner. What do I need to do? How do I teach my dog all these tricks? I mean, you already have to work on potty training. So for us to help that in that facet is awesome. So we love volunteers. We're always willing to take on more.
It was interesting. You said you have one young lady that comes 3 or 4 times a week just
Yes.
to help with the adoption aisle and walk the dogs and do different things. So that's...
Yep, she just graduated high school last year, and she's been here her junior and senior year pretty much 3 or 4 days a week after school, and a lot of times on Saturdays for her community hours. And she just continued on. I think she's hoping to get a job here one day, so I think she's starting to fill out an application. And we do actually have 2 or 3 employees that started out as volunteers and then came on to the sheriff's office to get a job at Animal Control. So that happens.
Yeah. Now, you also have a group of trustees from the Polk County Jail that come in daily and assist with the cleanup and different maintenance things here on the site.
Yeah, we for sure could not handle, our 400 plus everyday animal count without help. We just don't have enough employees, and that's where the trustees come in. It helps them give back to their community, and most of them do a great job. They just want to come in, do their job, time served and get home, and they do a great job for us. They help clean. They have some animal interaction. Some of them, after they get out, they actually come back and adopt. So I think it really helps them and the community, be pulled together. So, and obviously it helps us with the burden of cleaning and just, all of those tasks that we just wouldn't get to without that extra help. And we usually have about 10 on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know that helps out an awful lot. It's just good use of resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's, like you say, it's good for the inmates. It gives them time away from the facility.
Right.
And like you say, and to give back.
Yeah, they're giving back to their community.
Really good. Now, I wanted to talk basically about some of the duties that an animal control officer would do when you get a call for animals. What is would be your majority of your call, most of your call for service?
Most of them are either confined animals that people have already contained in a trap or at their house, or loose animals. So loose dogs that are running the neighborhood. Sometimes they know the owner, and it becomes a civil complaint, so we'll issue a citation. Sometimes they're not sure where they live, so it's a patrol and we're trying to locate the owner of the dog, or we're trying to locate the dog. That's probably our number one, and number two is just roaming loose animals. And then also, like I talked before at the studio, is we do a lot of bite investigations and dangerous dog investigations. So if somebody's having been bit by an animal, then we do the bite report and the quarantine follow-up. And then obviously if you have a dog that somebody's worried about in a neighborhood that is acting aggressive or in an aggressive manner or dangerous, then we can also go out and take a report on that.
Now, if someone is missing their dog and they want to check with you, how do they go about contacting you to see if maybe you have picked up their dog that may have gotten loose or jumped the fence or gotten scared by lightning or fireworks or any number of things?
Yes, that happens quite a bit. Fireworks are popular in Polk County. So they come to the office. They can go on the website, www.polkpets.org. However, a picture of their dog doesn't always look like the dogs that you're seeing. So the best thing to do is they need to come in person. They come into the office. And they fill out a lost pet form, and then we escort them through. They get to look at all the animals to see if we can't find their dog. And if not, then they can always check back on the website, but we always recommend people walk through, because it may not look like your pet, but it might just look different in a picture. Especially cats are a lot harder to tell than dogs, because sometimes a black cat is a black cat, but your hound might look unique, so it's sometimes hard to tell.
Well, again, just so important to have your animals tagged. Maybe microchipped, so you can track it. It just makes it so much easier for the family and for you and your staff.
Yes, we have somebody that checks our, we call it a tag book, but it's any animal that's brought in with any kind of identification, microchip, tag, duct tape with a phone number, whatever we can get, they're considered identified. And we put a hold on them, and we work diligently, sometimes 2 and 3 weeks, to try to get those dogs back to their owners. Sometimes we are never able to place them back, and we adopt them out, send them to rescue, and then other times the owner's here the next morning. So yes, microchipping, tagging, very important.
Well, Kristall, thank you so much for taking time to show us the facility out here.
It's my pleasure.
We look forward to the good things you're doing to help our animals and our people in Polk County stay safe.
No problem. Thank you for your time.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Heartland Crime Stopper Show. We want to thank Kristall Barber and her staff for showing us around and for all the good work they do here in Polk County. If you have any questions and want to contact Kristall or any of her staff, just contact them, the Animal Control Office, or on the web. We get lots of tips on people. We also take tips on animals. So if you have any information that you want to stay anonymous, please contact Heartland Crime Stoppers at 1-800-226-8477. And remember, it's a crime, and you can help make sure that they don't get away with it.